Hello, everyone. Good evening. I hope you're having a great Thursday wherever you happen to be. Thank you all for coming and joining us for our newest program series here at Nevada Humanities entitled Humanities at Play. For those of you who might not know me, my name is Kathleen Kuo, and I'm a program manager for Nevada Humanities, which is our state's council partner with the National Endowment for the Humanities. So with Humanities at Play, our goal is to pair gameplay and interactive activities with thoughtful discussions about the humanities and how they feature in and shape our everyday lives. We really want these streaming experiences to be fun and interactive, so by all means, please feel free to share your thoughts and ask questions as we stream today. So a couple quick notes before we get started. If you're a first-time Twitch user, welcome in. Thanks so much for creating an account and being with us. If you would like to chat with us, if you're currently watching and you have not created an account, if you create one, it just takes a couple minutes. It's totally free. And that way you can chat with Jeannie and ask questions as we play. So it really makes it a lot more fun if you're able to participate. If you're a newer user of Twitch as well, we have a very fun feature called a chat command, which is an exclamation point followed by a keyword. You might see some of those listed in the titles of our stream today, as well as in the About section. So go ahead and try those out if you would like. So today on stream, I'm going to welcome her now to the screen so that you can see her. I'm really thrilled to have joining me Jeannie Hua, who is a multidisciplinary artist, and she works primarily with mixed media, but also in video and performance. She graduated last summer from the MFA program from the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, and her connection to Chicago actually started as an art history undergraduate at the University of Chicago, which is actually where I went as an undergraduate. So it's very funny to find out that both Jeannie and I went to the same undergrad for college. Maybe we'll talk about that later. And then after spending a year in Taiwan, which is actually where my family is also from, so all these great connections. So after spending a year in Taiwan working as an English teacher and a street musician, Jeannie attended Northwestern School of Law at the College of Lewis and Clark. After practicing criminal defense in Las Vegas for 20 plus years, Jeannie decided to return to her love of art. This past summer, she exhibited works at First Street Gallery in New York City, as well as Woman Made Gallery in Chicago. She's exhibited in numerous galleries and museums, nationally and internationally, and she's also been awarded many scholarships and grants, including the Dennis Diderot Award for Chateau Orcoval Artist Residency, a Merit Scholarship for the Oxbow School of Art, and as well as grants from the Nevada Arts Council. And this summer, she's also going to be teaching an Art on the Meadows workshop at the Oxbow School of Art. So, Jeannie, thanks so much for joining me today for our Humanities at Play stream. I see you already chatting a little bit. You see all of the Shibas waving at you. That's my dog, by the way. That's my dog as an
so
emote. I am super excited if you can't tell. I have never played this game. I played like the first half hour of this, Aviary Attorney. For those of you who haven't heard of this before, it's a really charming, I would call it like an adventure kind of detective game in the style of the Ace Attorney series, for those of you who might be more familiar with the Phoenix Wright games. And so in Aviary Attorney, our protagonist, we are going to be, we're a falcon who's a defense lawyer working to investigate crimes, and then we defend our clients in court. And this just connects so well to, I think, Jeannie's interests and her background, and I think we're going to have a great time. So again, we always love to hear from chat, and we like to know what you think. So again, don't be shy about sharing your observations and comments as we play the game, and ask, any questions you'd like for Jeannie as we play. So finally, we're going to take a short break after we solve the first case. We're going to take a short 3 to 5 minute break where you can, get up and stretch, have water, grab a snack, and then we'll transition over to a more focused Q&A. And then we'll end our stream. So, all right, let's get started. I'm going to pull the game up.
All right. This is going to be fun.
Yeah. Okay, Jeannie. Let me know if you can see and hear it. Let me know when you're ready. And all of the music for this game is classical music. So if you recognize any and you want to share in chat what it is, let us know. Jeannie, are you able to see and hear the game yet?
Yep, I can see and
all
hear
right,
the game.
let us click to begin. Okay, let's start a new game. I love this hand-drawn art style. January 1st, 1848. Jeannie, how about I take the part of role-playing or voice acting our Falcon protagonist? Like I'll take care of whoever's on the left side of the screen, and you can do the right side of the screen. How about that?
Oh, Okay, sounds good.
Oh no, is that Monsieur Grenouille? Oh, mon Dieu. I don't mean to laugh at his murder. I just, Grenouille is a great name.
Is that me? Oh, damn, I missed
You're
it.
fine. Act 1, a cat with claws. I love that this is split into acts. Okay, so this, I guess this can be me. Sparrowson. It's midday already. Where on earth is that featherhead? Actually, why don't you be Sparrowson and I'll take our protagonist for now.
Well. Wait, is that still you?
This is you.
Sparrowson, that's me. Oh, well. Look who finally decided to get up. Haven't you heard what they said about the early bird falcon?
Ugh, too early for worms. Pass the Cabernet Sauvignon. Welcome in, Grand Admiral Thrawn.
It'll be time for that later. We have some business to handle first.
Business?
A letter arrived while you were sleeping. I haven't opened it.
It's probably just more junk mail. Go ahead, Sparrowson. You may have the honors.
All right. Dear Monsieur Falcon, I am writing to you today because my daughter Dame Catalina has been arrested for a crime she did not commit. She is being held at La Concierge prison on the charge of murder, no less. Her trial is in 3 days' time. I would be greatly in debt if you would offer her your legal aid. Yours sincerely, Senior Purtour de Maria of the de Maria estate.
Well, this is quite something. I know. Oh,
I
sorry.
know. Your first serious clients in months.
Not just that, the De Miao estate is well known for its exuberant wealth. Even if we cannot do much for Dame Catalina, his lordship would still reward us handsomely for our efforts.
Wow. So I suppose you intend on defending Dame Catalina in court.
Welcome in, friends. Hello. Okay, well, I think it'd be very rude to just say nope, so I'm going to just say of course and advance the story, Jeannie.
I concur.
Is there a law thing you say? Is I concur the same as yes, or is there something else you say that's yes, that's not objection? We, okay.
I stipulate.
It would be foolish to let such a good opportunity slip through our feathers. I think there's lots of bird puns in this game, by the way, so be prepared. Grab your coat, Sparrowson. We're going to go find our kitty client at La Conciergerie.
Excellent. My derriere was getting tired from all the sitting around. Oh, but I better file away Senior de Miao's letter first. One moment, Falcon. Can you tell I grew up in Ohio? I can't do a French accent. Okay. So letter has been added to our evidence folder.
Okay, here it is. His daughter's being held, and we are here to help. Great. You may access the evidence folder anytime by clicking the suitcase symbol. Ah, nearly forgot my wallet. I wouldn't want to lose that.
Again, I recall you losing it at New Year's party and at Christmas.
Yes, all right. No need to make a list. Falcon has picked up his wallet. Great. We have 20 whole francs. You may see how much money he's carrying at any time by clicking on the wallet symbol. I love that they're French birds. Yes. Let's make a move. All right. Welcome to the map screen. From here, you can travel to any listed area by clicking on a location name or a location node. Areas marked with a clock symbol take a whole day to visit. Areas with no symbol can be visited freely. Okay, Jeannie, so...
Let's go to the murder site.
I think we have to go to prison first to talk to Dame Catalina, and then after that, I think we'll be able to.
Okay.
Okay, Falcon and Sparrowson step into the stone-cold foyer of the Conciergerie prison. Sullen-faced guards and visitors linger beneath the medieval archways. Ah, the Conciergerie. They say this is the finest prison in the whole of France. The outer walls are impenetrable, the cells are spotless, the guards are well-mannered.
What do you want?
and Grand Admiral Thrawn said, I just realized De Miao is pronounced De Miao because cat. Yes, because cat. Good day, monsieur. I am here to see Dame Cataline de Miao. I am due to represent her in court.
Oh, you're her lawyer, huh? Fine, follow me. What? What are you waiting for? Keep up.
Okay, this'll be you. You'll also be Cataline.
My papa hasn't forgotten about me, has he?
Dame Cataline de Miao, I presume.
You've arrived. The fantastic lawyer, Monsieur Falcon, and his petite assistant, Sparrowson.
Milady is knowledgeable. Don't talk like that, Sparrowson. Sorry.
My papa told me that he would only hire the best lawyer in town.
I'm flattered.
But they weren't available at such short notice, so he hired the first people in the address directory.
That is so sad. that is a direct Oh no. I have a question for you, Jeannie. I'm going to pause here. So, during your work as an attorney, did people, I guess, do you think this happens? Like, do people like just look up like attorneys, or how do people find? Like, do you like online, like, do you Google people who are experts in the particular subject or like thing that you're looking for help with?
Well, I did indigent defense for a long time, and so I was appointed court counsel. But when I went out on my own, it was just by word of mouth. So if I got a good result for somebody in jail or prison, they would tell their friends. And so I would get a lot of jail and prison calls of people wanting to hire me. But I have met people who just thought, oh, these lawyers have big billboards. They must make a lot of money, meaning that they are successful. I must hire them. So it all depends.
I just think of when I live, in Vegas, every time I get out of town visitors, they're always like, why do you have so many billboards for like injury lawyers? And what's with all the radio ads? So that's just something.
Oh, yeah. Not just PI lawyers, but I had a friend from Vermont who's an artist that said, there's so many erectile dysfunction billboards around town.
That too.
What's up with that?
Yes.
And I just thought, oh, yeah.
Chat friends in Las Vegas, corroborate if you can. Oh. You see, Falcon? I told you listing under Aviary Attorney would pay off. Let's get down to business. Dame Catalina, could you fill us in on some details? Your father's letter was a little brief.
I can do my best. What is it you wanted to know?
All right, so we have 3 questions. We could ask what happened on the night of the murder, who was there that evening, or did you see anything suspicious? What should we ask first?
What happened on the night of the murder?
Okay. What exactly happened on the night of the murder?
Oh, let me think. It was Friday evening. Me and my papa had arrived at Chateau Carrere, the home of great Baron Roguer.
Oh my God, I can't pronounce these French words.
Yeah, I don't know French, so I don't blame you.
My papa spent all evening talking with Monsieur Grenouille and the Baron about business stuff.
Business stuff?
Well, the 3 of them own a railway company together. So all through dinner, they were talking about company shares and investments, but I didn't really understand most of it. But after dinner, this man with the camera took our photograph. That was a lot more fun.
Sorry, man with a what? Took your what?
Camera! It's a very nude gadget.
Not nude. New gadget.
A tiny bug sits in a box with a tiny paintbrush and paints your picture very fast.
I really hope that's how cameras work in this world. That would be very cute.
I wish.
In 10 minutes, poof, you have a perfect picture.
Wow, technology is amazing. I don't think the lady's explanation is right, Sparrowson. Grand Admiral Thrawn notes, I think that's how cameras work in Terry Pratchett's Discworld. I think instead of a bug, it's like a little imp, right? Grand Admiral Thrawn, you're right. I love the Discworld series. Some of my favorite books of all time. Thank you for sharing that. Pshaw. Let me believe. Still, the camera sounds like a very special device. I'll make a note of it. Camera has been added to your evidence folder. Please continue, Dame Katerline.
So, after we had the photograph, I went into the gardens to get some air, and that's when I found the body of Monsieur Granouille.
A question.
He was all ripped open.
I wonder if this takes place in the 1800s, since that's when cameras first showed up. Yes, so I think you might have missed the very beginning of the game when they like panned over the city. I think this is 1848? I think that's the year. Yes, absolutely. Good. I was gonna say, I can't. My brain isn't working. Good.
Deduction.
There you
inference.
go. Deduction.
Our housemate saw me standing over Froggy Monsieur and called for help, and then the police arrived. Before I could say anything, I ended up here. It was such a blur.
It must have been terrifying.
It wasn't so bad. My papa taught me how to be a great, brave cat. Was there something else you wanted to ask, Monsieur Falcon?
Okay, let's ask the next question. Who was there that evening? Or who attended the banquet that evening?
Well, there was me and Papa. My dearest mom, couldn't make it. And there was Veron Roguet, who hosted the dinner, and his housemaid, Colleen, I think she was called. Of course, there was Monsieur Granouille. Well, until, he died.
Oh.
And there was Monsieur Robitio de Robinio, the man with the camera, but he was only there for a little while. I think that was all. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Okay. Dame Katerline, did you see anything suspicious that evening?
Suspicious?
Like, maybe a guy lurking in the shadows, or a bloodied murder weapon?
Monsieur Falcon, I do believe you are looking for an easy answer.
You got me.
I did not see anything, I am afraid. The evening was very normal. The food was delicious, and I can't read that part because of its
let's see if I can.
square. And the conversation was boring.
One moment. I'm going to see if I can disable these notifications. Apologies for all of that. How do I do this? Notifications do not show any notifications.
That's okay. We can always just make it up.
Okay, we are good now, I think. All right. The conversation. I love that how she says the conversation was boring.
But it was. It was all very ordinary until the incident.
I see. Wait, Falcon, you missed something of huge importance. I did? Dame Katerline, you said the food was delicious. But you didn't say what food it was. You and your damn stomach.
Let me see. We had poached red herring to start, garnished with garlic butter.
Go on.
Then a marbled steak served perfectly bloody rare.
Glorious. Falcon, write this down. What? This can't possibly be relevant to the case. Write it all down, please, for me. Fine. Okay, red herring has been added to our evidence folder, as so has bloody rare steak.
So we have fish and steak in our evidence vault.
Yes. Sparrowson, remind me not to let you talk to clients on an empty stomach.
Come Come to think of it, I did find it a little strange that we weren't given any cutlery.
No cutlery? Even for the steak?
Nope. You would think that the great Baron of Chateau Cournier would have gorgeous silverware, but there was none to be seen.
Yes, it is great that one of the clues is literally a red herring. That is a little peculiar.
Was there anything else you wanted to know, Monsieur Falcon?
No, I think that will be all. So what's the plan now, Falcon? The way I see it, we have 2 tasks. We should head to Chateau Cournier and try to see the scene of the murder for ourselves. And we should try to track down the supposed photographer, Monsieur Rubitio de Rubinio. 2 days for 2 tasks? Seems doable. But we should head back and get some rest first. We have a lot of work ahead of us.
Wait, Monsieur Falcon, before you go, you do believe my story, don't you?
Okay, so we have I believe you, I believe in justice, or ...
I believe in justice.
You believe in justice. I like that. That's like a very noble question. Would you ever say this if someone asked you believe my story, Jeannie? Would you say I believe you or I believe in justice?
I usually say I believe you, but today I feel like believing in justice.
Okay, and Grand Admiral Thrawn said, gotta go with the Batman answer. I believe in justice. Okay. Dame Cataline, I believe that a fair trial can draw the truth from any situation. I believe in justice.
That's good to hear.
You're not wrong, Falcon, but that's not what the lady needed to hear. You might want to work on being less of a... how to put it? Fils de pute. If serving justice makes me a fils de pute, then I'll wear that title proudly. I don't know what that means. Can someone in chat look that up?
Okay.
What is
Fils is child of... What is pute?
That's a good question. We will find out shortly. All right. Dame Cataline, Monsieur Grenouille, Baron Vergule. These names are all getting a bit of confusion, aren't they? Not particularly. Well, it is for me. I'm going to start compiling a Facebook so that I can keep track of who everyone is. A what? Oh no. Okay, well, thank you, friends. Okay. A Facebook. It's a collection of people's names, pictures, and descriptions on one easy-to-carry catalog. I think I understand. The name could use a little work, though. Well, I think I think Sparrowson, that's probably a little bit more poetic than the answers in chat. Thank you. Sparrowson has started compiling a Facebook. Here's our Facebook. Oh, our name is JJ Falcon. Sparrowson, what a handsome fellow. Patois de Meow. Okay, that's all. Look at how, I know it's a little bit small, but look at how majestic this cat is. That is a very round, luscious cat. Very round.
It's a plump cat.
Plump cat. Grenouille was murdered. Cataline and Quark. Okay. Got it. Oops. Okay, you can access a list of people you have met at any time by clicking the book symbol. Let's make a move. Okay, great. So the game will save for us, and we can always quick save. Let's go to the scene of the crime, Jeannie. I know that's where you wanted to go.
Yes, I couldn't wait.
Oh, thank you, the Geech. Yes, it is my birthday today. And what better way to celebrate than by playing games and having good conversation and being in a company of friends and colleagues. Thank you. Okay, Falcon and Sparrowson enter the courtyard outside Chateau Cournier. People with dirty clothes and gaunt faces linger around the building's shadows.
Excusez-moi.
Oh, wait, her voice.
Excusez-moi, messieurs. I don't mean to be a pain, but my little girl and I are sick and starving, see? I don't suppose you happen to have some spare change.
You have 20 francs in your wallet. What will you do? We could give nothing, we could give 1, or we could give 10.
What do you guys think? I'm leaning towards 1 frog.
I think so too. This live voice acting. I know, Jeannie. I bow down to you. Okay.
Oh, please.
I give 1.
You got it, Grand Admiral.
Yes. And the Geech, I don't know if you're from the beginning, but both of us went to the University of Chicago. So this is a wonderful connection. I think several people in chat also share as well. So Jeannie went there. Was it for art history? Is that what you studied at U Chicago?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, there's other people in the chat box that went to U of C. Oh,
I won't dox them, but
cool.
I guess they can feel free to share themselves. But at least I know of at least 2 people in here who also went to U Chicago. We are everywhere.
Very cool.
Stay safe, madame.
Oh, I can't remember the voice.
Many thanks to you, Monsieur.
I think that was the voice. That was it.
We'll find out.
That was pretty generous of you, Falcon. Times are tough. Making sure a mother and child have something to eat is the least I can do. But what am I doing, standing here moralizing? Come on, Sparrowson, we've got business to attend to. Falcon and Sparrowson step into the pristine, wood-paneled foyer of Chateau Crinière. Whoa, look at this place. Baron Ragrue must be loaded. Okay, thank you so much for being here, Grand Admiral Thrawn. Really appreciate you. Okay, more than loaded. When it comes to lucrative investments, the Baron is a legend. Factories, chocolate shops, hotels, railroads. The Baron owns a little bit of everything this side of the Seine. Is he here right now? Yes, he's a smug-looking chap with the impressive mane. But we must approach a man of his stature with tact and finesse. Hey, Baron, we'd like a word. How's that? Sparrowson, you have the finesse of an inebriated warthog. Just think of Pumbaa. Think of Pumbaa from The Lion King. It's very sweet. You can thank me later.
Too.
I got his attention.
Did I hear my name? Great Baron Rogier, property owner extraordinaire at your service.
Okay, really quickly, friends in chat, is this the lion song from the Carnival of the Animals? I think it is. Tell me if I'm right. I think it's very cool that they use this for the lion part, but I think that's the song that's playing right now.
And who might you fellows be? More investigators?
Okay, should we say, yep, we're policemen, or no, we're attorneys? I don't think we should lie.
Attorneys.
Yeah, we're attorneys.
We can't pretend to be police officers. That's a felony.
Oh, we gotta, thank you. Sabata Ertz said, happy birthday to me in Mongolian. We took Mongolian together.
Oh, how cool is that?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Bartla. Not quite. I am private attorney JJ Falcon, and this is my associate, Sparrowson.
Lawyers, eh? You know you aren't the first one passed through here to...
Oh?
Yes. This jumpy, twitchy fellow came by this morning. Asked a bunch of questions and hopped away before he heard the answers. Most curious.
Do you know who he was, Sparrowson? Perhaps. I have a hunch. We'll be seeing him at the trial. A friend of yours? Something like that.
So what may I do for you, monsieur?
We're doing some research on Monsieur Grenouille, the frog who was killed here on Friday evening.
Of course, such a tragedy. He was a good friend and a loyal business partner. I suppose you messieurs would be wanting to see the crime scene for yourself.
Actually, yes, that would be fantastic.
Well, be my guest. You will find a garden where the murder occurred through the back doors. You may also be interested in the lounge on the second floor, third door to the right. That would be where we gathered for a group photograph prior to the... Unfortunate incident. Oh my God. How long was it going to take for you to click on it?
Oh no, he was taking a puff on his cigar.
Oh, okay.
So that was a very the game built in this dramatic pause on purpose. Can we see the finished photograph?
I'm afraid not. It is to my understanding that a photograph must be developed before it can be viewed. It's a slow process. My own copy of the photograph is to be delivered in 3 days' time.
That's no good to us. The trial may be over by then. Nonetheless, we appreciate your hospitality. Thank you, Baron.
It's no trouble at all. I'll be here to see you out when you are done with your investigations.
So, where shall we go first? All right. So the garden is where the murder occurred, or we could go to the main hall where they had dinner. Where would you like to go?
Well, didn't the frog croak in the garden?
Oh my gosh. Did you just come up with that?
Oh, I know. I'm so brilliant.
Very good. Dame Cataline said that she found Monsieur Grenouille on the stairs by the fountain, so this must be the very spot where the murder took place. Hey, Falcon, do the crime scene investigation thing. The crime scene investigation thing? Yeah, you know, that thing where you get all eagle-eyed and analyze every object in excruciating detail. You mean search for evidence? Yeah, do that. That's not a bad suggestion. It wouldn't be the first time the Parisian police have missed something right under their noses. All right, so investigation mode, you're free to examine the scenery of the room. Click on an item of interest, and Falcon will examine it in closer detail. And then we can click an X once we're done. All right.
Okay. Well, okay, so we're in the gardens, so we need to...
Yes.
Another beautifully made horse statue.
You know, my uncle once had a horse that refused to eat hay. Oh, that's unfortunate. Yep. Eventually I realized I was just filling up on hors d'oeuvres.
Oh,
Oh, terrible.
oh.
I'm just clicking.
Okay, so can we click on where the frog was laying?
Yes, we can try that. A finely crafted horse statue. The mane almost looks lifelike. Would you say it behooves you to stroke it? No.
God's
No,
sake.
no, I would not. Okay. Oh, excellent click. This fountain is finely crafted. Solid, carved marble. That can't have been cheap. I see nothing but water in the bottom of the lower basin. It's a shame we can't see inside the upper basin from here. That would be a perfect place to quickly stash a murder weapon. That's actually not a terrible line of reasoning. We ought to wait in to take a closer look just to be sure. Yeah, suppose we should. Oh, I apologize. I wasn't being direct enough. What I meant to say was, Sparrowson, go wade into the fountain and take a closer look inside the upper basin. Me? No way. If you want to go wading, do it yourself. I'm a respectable lawyer. You can't expect me to roll up my trousers and paddle around a fountain like a duck in a lake. Yeah, well, you don't pay me enough to justify getting my sweet threads wet. Look, there's only one reasonable way to settle this. We'll flip for it. Flip for it? Yep, I'll flip this one coin. You call the outcome. Get it wrong and you go for a swim. So what'll it be? Heads or tails? Napoleon face or plant squiggles? Okay. Do we want...
tails.
You want tails? Okay. Plant squiggles? It's called a wreath, Sparrowson. Sure, I'll bet on the plant squiggles. Here I go. It's heads. Should have gone with the old Emperor Falcon. Gah, fine. Hold my shoes. Falcon really should learn how to spot a rigged coin flip. I almost feel bad for cheating.
Stupid Falcon.
Almost.
You can't trust sparrows.
Had a good swim? No, I'm a bird, not a fish. But I did find a mystery item in the upper basin. It's no murder weapon, though.
It's a cigar, right?
Is it? Yeah, at first I was like, what is a finger doing there? But I guess it's not a finger. It's not a bullet either. It's a... Yeah.
Well, it's a cigar because her dad was puffing on a cigar.
It's brown and sticky and it smells weird. Don't tell me that you picked up a very wet cigar butt. Possibly belonging to Baron Ragu, correct? but that shouldn't be too surprising. It is his house after all. I'll stash an evidence folder just in case. Okay, Jeannie, let's see if we can click. I'm trying to click along their stairwell. There we go. Dried blood in the staircase. This must be where Monsieur Grenouille died.
Ah,
Do you see any
okay.
bloody footprints? Oh, or maybe a name scrawled in blood, written with a frog's last breath? Wishful thinking. All I'm seeing here is a big sticky puddle. There's nothing to indicate that the body was moved or that the frog left a last-minute clue. All I can make out from the bloody mess is that Monsieur Grenouille was attacked and killed on the staircase. Jeannie, when you were a lawyer, did you do these sort of like investigative moments as well? Like, did you go and look for evidence, or is that more of like a TV movie thing?
No, especially we're going to go to trial. It was really important to go to the scene of the incident and just kind of get an idea of the layout. And it makes it much easier to understand the case and to defend it at trial.
I don't mind the horse statues with little cherub people creep me out. Baby should be waddling, not attempting saddleless horseback riding. Okay, we have one last thing to click on. A horse statue.
Okay.
This one has a goofy face. That reminds me of a joke. A horse walks into a bar and the barkeep says, "Why the long face?" Yes, we've all heard that one. What? No, the barkeep says, "You've got to stop coming here. You're drinking us under the stable." I think it's time to rein in the horse jokes. Okay, I think that's it for this place. All right. I think we're done here.
Out of puns.
Yes, we do not want to take another dip. Don't push your luck. All right, let's go. I think, is it the lounge?
Lounge, where they had the photograph done.
She's so tall. My goodness. Second floor. Third door on the right. This must be the room where the photograph was taken. Psst. Hey, Falcon, did you see that? See what? That housemaid totally just did something shifty. Shifty? I think she just pocketed something from that drawer. You should totally call her out on it. You guys, you're so good in chat. Where are you getting these? You're so good at horse jokes. Welcome in, Luna. Hello. I hope you're having a wonderful evening. Excuse me, mademoiselle.
Yes. Are you two policemen?
No, we're private attorneys. My name's JJ Falcon. And I'm Sparrowson.
Oh, how rude of me. My name is Colleen Duho. So, what can I help you, messieurs, with today? I'm sorry, really am choking.
Oh no. Okay, I will read. We're investigating the murder that took place last week. Do you mind if I ask you a couple of questions?
That's fine. Let me just grab a chair. That's better. What is it you wanted to ask?
Should we ask where the photograph was taken? Let's do that.
Yeah, is this where the photograph is taken? We don't want to scare her off.
Yes. The geek, wait, last week? Why was the blood puddle so wet? Good question. We're looking for the room where the photograph was taken prior to the incident. Would you happen to know whether this is the right room?
Oh, yes. You're in the right place. I saw the photography session for myself. Let's see. The cameraman was standing just about where you're standing, actually, Monsieur Falcon.
And where was the camera pointed?
Right at the clock above the mantelpiece. The Baron insisted on using that very location.
Now that I'm looking at it, something isn't right about that clock. I know, the painting on it totally clashes with the decor. Thank you, Silver. Thank you for the lurk. I was thinking along more obvious lines. The clock has no hands.
Oh, that clock has never had hands in all the years there. I think Baron Ruguel just keeps it around as a conversation piece.
Well, we're conversing about it, so I guess it's working. It's a peculiar detail, though. I'll make a note of it. Missing clock hands.
Is there something else you wanted to ask?
Okay. You were a little
Yeah.
nervous when we came in. You thought we were police officers.
Oh. Oh.
Is there something we ought to know? Anything you need to confess?
No, I suppose I'm just a little nervous after all the trauma of last week.
I don't think
Pressure
we need to.
her.
You want us to pressure her? I think we should ease off. I think that
Oh, fine.
it will
You're
be
the
nice.
one.
I know. I guess I can be good cop. Cats goat your tongue. We completely understand, mademoiselle. If anything comes to mind, please don't hesitate to let us know.
I'll keep it in mind. Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kathleen is lawful good. That's all. No further questions. Thank you, mademoiselle. You've been a huge help.
It's no problem, messieurs. Actually, there is something. I know you two saw me stealing as you came in. I appreciate that you didn't give me the third degree about it. You see, I'm trying to save up to follow my dreams, and well, never mind, I'm rambling.
It's no problem, mademoiselle. To be honest, we have a much larger crime to worry about. Although I should probably ask, I don't suppose you've been stealing anything else? Silverware, perhaps?
You know about that? Yeah, I suppose that was me. It started with a couple of teaspoons. I didn't think the Baron would miss those. But, well, yeah, I suppose the habit got a little away from me.
That's one mystery solved, at least. Missing silverware. It's a goat crime, renaming the Billy the goat.
I would appreciate it if you didn't tell the Baron. He's been really kind. I would hate to break his trust.
I see. So where to next, Big Bird? Well, I guess we
The
can...
main hall is left.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you, messieurs, have a good look around? I trust everything was in order.
We had a good look. Thank you, Baron. But we actually have some questions for you.
Please ask away. I suddenly have a British accent and I have nothing to hide.
What happened? Baron Ragu, I would like to ask about your activities on the night of the murder.
Oh ho, am I in trouble?
What should we say? Not at all, or we'll see?
Not at all. Not at all.
No, nothing like that. We're just gathering the full picture.
I see. Well, let me think. The guests arrived at 5 o'clock and we all sat down for dinner in this very hall at 6. That part went magnificently. The photographer arrived at 7 o'clock, but it wasn't until 7:30 that we had our picture taken. My housemate discovered the crime scene soon after that.
I see.
Is there anything else I can help you, messieurs, with?
Okay.
We'll be leaving. Don't snitches get stitches.
Okay, yeah, we'll be lawful good. Well, I guess this isn't really lawful. Is it just neutral good? Don't narc in all caps. Okay, we'll be leaving. I think that'll be all, Baron. Thank you very much for your time.
It was a pleasure. Have a delightful day, messieurs.
Can I just say that I think it's so funny that she just slowly took all the silverware and he never bothered to replace it. Just like it's
They're just eating like this. Everything is normal.
Did you get all the information you needed, Falcon? I hope so. Don't worry. If everything goes wrong on a trial, you'd always just wing it. Terrible. Just terrible. Let's head back to the office and get some rest. Okay. Last day. We're going to talk to the Robin. And then I think after this, we get maybe to the trial. Let's find out.
Okay.
Very exciting. So, this is the studio of the famous photographer. Shall we knock? Wait, there's a note on the door. Ahem. The magnificent and marvelous artist, Monsieur Robitio de Robinho, is currently out on an artistic expedition. He shall return when his muse sees fit. When his muse sees fit? What does that even mean? I think it means that he is a pretentious bird brain. But in any case, the artist seems to be out. What shall we do now? I think we should...
I should knock.
Yeah, we should knock. We should knock anyway. All right. I don't see the harm. Dot, dot, dot. Nope. Doesn't look like he's in, Falcon.
We should break in.
So bad it hurts. I think you said we should break in before the option to break in came up. You are the geek. How do birds knock if they don't have hands?
They use their beaks.
We should break in. What? Are you serious? Maybe? Monsieur J.J. Falcon, I would have thought that a man of justice like yourself would be against such reckless displays of unlawful barbarism. You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over. It's a brilliant suggestion. Stand back. I'm barging the door down.
Oh, with his little sparrow body.
Yeah. Wait. Just like that? Shall we discuss this first? Oh, we're in. Oh no.
Da, da, da.
What in bird Jesus' name was that? Did anyone... Okay, speaking of bird Jesus, wasn't that a thing from the Pokemon Twitch thing that they did several years ago? I know, like with the Praise Helix. Wasn't bird Jesus one of the Pokemon? This is some gaming history right here. Someone let me know if you remember this.
Yeah, anybody know about Bird Jesus? Bird Jesus?
You said you wanted to break in. I thought we could find an open window. I didn't think you would turn into a bird-sized cannonball. Well, now we're here. We ought to make the most of it. This place is quite something. It's very... swanky? I was going to say...
I would check the fridge.
Ostentatious. Let's just swanky talk for swanky. We don't have time for this. The sound of a door being smashed in could be drawing unwanted attention. We should find anything that may help our case and get out. All right, we're in investigation mode. I'm just going to see when my mouse...
Yeah.
Here's a thing.
Uh-huh.
I see a bourgeois tigress in profile. Bird Jesus the Pidgeot. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Olivia. I see paints, inks, and dyes. I'm not quite sure what the clear liquid in this bottle is.
Is it yellow?
You could, but we don't have time for a hospital visit right now, so let's not. Ooh. A beautiful picture of the Paris skyline. Have you been to Paris before, Jeannie?
Just the airport.
Just the airport.
I've been to rural France.
Wow, we can click on all of these pictures. Okay. See a finely dressed dandy fellow upon a horse. This appears to be a photograph of a ladder, symbolic of climbing towards success, perhaps. Also emblematic of our friends at Folkwise, which I love. Looks more like a step ladder. Oh no, we're not getting into that old argument. Ladder versus step ladder, the geech. Scientist chiming in, please do not taste test. A butterfly? Or maybe a moth? It's difficult to tell in black and white. This is
Are we supposed to find their group photo or something?
I don't know. Yeah, we'll find out. This is a photograph of a castle somewhere in the countryside. You know, I once had an uncle who once fell off a castle rampart while on guard duty. I'm so sorry to hear that. Did he die? No, he got demoted. No. No, terrible. Hey, Falcon, look. What? It's just an easel. No. Look at what's on the easel. This is it? This must be a copy of the photograph from the evening of the murder. Oh, there's no question about it. I see a housemaid, Dame Cataline, and I think that's Seigneur Pertois, Cataline's father. So what shall we do? Do we just take this? Ooh.
Yeah, well, oh God, what do you guys think?
I know.
I want to take it to see what happens.
Right, yeah.
I mean, since we broke in, we might as well steal something.
Yeah, I don't know how law works in this.
Okay, you know what? Okay,
Take
fine.
it. Take
We
it.
should leave it. We should leave it because if we need to introduce it as evidence, we would be breaking the chain of custody.
Okay.
So, man, being a lawyer really sucks sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, do you think, we'll see if that logic applies here, because I was thinking that, like, in the
exactly.
trial, what if we need this, but then we couldn't use it? But then what if we say we saw it? Oh, I'm so curious. Okay, well, I guess we'll find out.
We should leave it.
Yes. Can you explain what chain of custody is for people who might not know?
When the police goes to a crime scene, the CSI would put take evidence from the scene, like, the gun, or take fingerprints, and then they would record information on the evidence bag and then place it in the evidence vault. And then every time somebody checks it out to test it or to use it at a hearing, they have to sign their name on the bag itself to show the chain of custody of everybody that handled it and the location of the evidence. So to show, so that's the chain of evidence, which is who collected it, who has handled it since its collection, and all the places that it's been since then prior to trial.
So we can't just nab this painting whose house we broke into.
And rub it on their butts.
Yeah.
That's right. You can't do that. No.
Every half-competent lawyer knows that stolen property can't be used as evidence. Okay, so I'm glad we didn't take it. Sorry, chat. I know you wanted me to. But hey, you could always get this game and see what happens if you choose to take it. Still, we've learned some valuable information by seeing this photograph in person. Suppose so. Is there anything else we need to do here?
Well, I was going to check the refrigerator, but it doesn't look like we get to go in the kitchen.
Yeah. I mean, there's still a bunch more paintings. I can just quickly go through them just in case. Picture of a sailing ship on a windy day. This is a tiny photograph of what appears to be a jail cell. That reminds me, oh no. How legal is this?
Oh,
you know, breaking and entering, rifling through a person's belongings. Okay, we have it's cool. Lawyers, a little illegal or very illegal. That is a spectrum from cool to not cool. Very not cool.
Yeah, it's very illegal. Yeah.
I'm not going to lie to you, Sparrowson. If we're caught, we'll be spending the next 20 years with a number instead of a name. I call 24601. Don't be daft, Sparrowson. You can't call prison numbers. Damn, I wanted that one.
You see, if they were Chinese birds, they wouldn't call 4444.
That's right. Unlucky number for death. A lighthouse? No, wait. It's a man in a top hat. Actually, if I squint and turn my head sideways, it's a black smudge falcon. Okay, I think that's it for... Oh, wait, one more? 8675309. This is a picture of a fence.
Oh,
it's a
you
fancy
just dated
photograph.
yourself, my friend. And I just dated myself for knowing what you're talking about.
Jeannie, here's another horrible pun. It's a fancy photograph. It leaves the viewer defenseless. Out of all the pictures here, I would pick it as my favorite. Okay, I'm done. No more fence puns.
Wow, that was loaded.
All right, I think this is it for... Oh, one more. Chandelier. Chandelier, you should get one of those for the office. I don't have the money for that sort of luxury. Okay, I think this is it.
Okay.
Then snooping, let's get out. Sounds good to me. Uh-oh. Oh, this is you.
Oh, mon Dieu! What happened to my door?
Tell the truth or lie? I know, right?
I don't know.
I know, it's like...
This is terrible.
This is what games do. Yeah, this is a good hypothetical, right? Because...
Lie. All
yeah, right. Okay. Well, I think if we tell the truth, then he'll be angry at us in court. We're already too far in. I don't know what my instincts are. I would tell a white, like, oh, we found it like
that. As a lawyer bird, I don't have any instinct as a lawyer bird.
Some kids did it. Little weasel types. We saw them. Yeah, weasels.
Such
They're
a
all
good
like, let's
liar.
break into this art guy's house. And we were like, no, weasels, we cannot do that because that would be illegal. And then they're like, we chase them off. That's the important thing.
Well, thank you, I suppose.
Let's make a move. Trial day is approaching fast. Right. Let's go. All right. A new day. Okay, so we have Robin. I think we have 2 places left to go. Let's see if we can...
Okay.
Oh, can we quick
What's
save?
the AA office? Is that Alcoholic Anonymous or something?
Aviary Attorney.
Oh, well, I guess that's more logical.
Okay, so I see a clock here. So this might be the last day. Maybe we could stop by our offices quick, and then we can go to court, and then we'll take a break after the case ends.
Okay, sounds good.
Falcon, it's a trial day. Stop messing around. We need to head to the courthouse already. No, we're going to be late. Okay, I guess the game just wants us to go straight there.
Ooh.
High court, a place reserved for only the most serious of crimes. All right, Jeannie, are you ready to go to court?
I'm ready to go to court.
Okay. Falcon and Sparrowson stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice. It's probably not pronounced justice in France. I'm just going to say justice. Awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Yes? Nope? Or ...
Yes. Yes. Who has 3 days to prepare for trial? It's just triggering, frankly.
How long would you usually have?
A murder trial? It takes years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I have no sense of time. That's really interesting.
Well, that's good. I wouldn't want you to know.
Yeah. I guess I would feel like, I don't know, months. I guess I would, because my hope would be justice would move faster. If I understand there's a lot of paperwork and procedures probably. So. Oh, Falcon shares your sentiments. Of course I'm nervous. We're woefully underprepared for this case. 2 days! We only had 2 days to prepare. How are we expected to get anything done in that time frame? Calm your feathers, Falcon. We can do this.
Monsieur Falcon, Petite Sparrow song. Is there anything you need me to do?
No. We've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about the case.
That's wonderful. I just know you two will pull it through. Let's move it along, fellas. I'll be watching from inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon.
We will. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. No, says Jeannie. No. Oh my goodness. This is like a stork? Or what kind of...
All right, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Is everybody here?
JJ Falcon, present. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
Rupert Rabington present. The ready is prosecution, Your Honor.
Oh no, this poor rabbit.
Oh, darn, that's not it. Oh gosh, where are my notes?
Ha! I knew it! Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all my classes. Oh, was he smart? No. He always scored the second worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exams in the luck of his 2 rabbit's feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you might already have this trial in the bag. It's good to know, but say, Sparrowson, if Rupert scored the second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right to not self-incriminate.
Oh, here it is. The prosecution is ready.
Are the jury all present? All present and accounted for, Your Honor.
Hey, Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh my goodness, look at this hippo. I'm just I'm just looking now at a dog, a hippo, sheep, ostrich, bird, maybe a
vulture, I wouldn't want a vulture on my jury if I were a defendant. Is that a cuckoo bird?
Maybe we'll find out. Oh, those two birds with the funny hats are assesseurs, the associate judges.
Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The court is now in session for the trial of Dame Catherine D. Meow. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand.
Oh gosh, are we there already? Okay. Oh. I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Volerty, to the witness stand.
Inspector Volerty, please approach the stand and recite the oath.
I'm running out of voices.
Okay.
Kathleen, so can you please
I don't
take
have. I'll
this?
just use my boring voice. I'm so sorry.
Your voice is beautiful.
As you will, Your Honor. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth.
Sure. No, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for record.
My name is Inspector Just Valerti. I am a servant to the law, a scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring the infamous Floridian killer to justice. My path begins 18 years ago.
Let's stick to the question, Inspector.
Of course, Your Honor. Oh, great. I was hoping I'd have one of those bumbling, cuddly officers, but instead we're stuck with lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn in his own mother if he saw her littering.
So, Inspector, is it true that you are the...
That is correct. I was also among the first to arrive at the scene of the crime.
Then perhaps you can walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival.
Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron Ragout. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Catherine de Miao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille with his blood on her paws.
Well, that sounds like an open and shut case in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honor.
But bloody paws? Nobody told me that detail. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to be given the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. That's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I know this.
You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. By the way, if you were defense, you should be moving to keep out that evidence right now since it wasn't given over to you during discovery.
Okay, cross-examine the witness to find flaws in his testimony. Select a key phrase that you find suspicious, and Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right questions to bring the truth to light. Avoid pressing for pointless details. Select a statement to question. Okay, so we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid of Baron. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Catherine. She was standing over the sliced open corpse of Monsieur Grenouille with blood on her paws.
Let's do it.
Blood on her paws.
Blood on her paws.
Inspector, you said Dame Catherine had blood on her paws. Correct. Blood clung to her fur like guilt to a convict.
Yeah, whose blood is it?
Whose blood was it? Huh, what a question. It was Monsieur Grenouille's, of course. How can you be so sure?
I object. This line of questioning is absurd. There was only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Catalina's paw could only have belonged to one person, Monsieur. Judge, Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions.
I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon.
No.
Do you have any reason to suspect that the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenouille?
I do.
I do.
He has no choice.
I do, Your Honor. Actually, I have more than suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Catherine paws had nothing to do with the murder.
That is foolish time wasting, Falcon. If the blood on Dame Catalina's paw didn't come from the victim, then where did the came from the steak?
Yeah.
That was bloody rare, man.
Ding. On the evening of the murder, Dame Cataline ate a bloody rare steak.
Da, da, da. Is this true, Monsieur Rappington?
Well, in a man speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu.
Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on the lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the steak? Well.
Wait, don't answer that, Inspector.
It is a possibility.
No.
I like the voices. We gained a little favor with the jury. Nice. So, Inspector Valerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater?
Now, hold on for 1 minute, Falcon. You're over. Dame Catalina is an elegant bourgeois. She was no doubt brought up with flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would have eaten the steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper civilized animal. How could she have possibly gotten blood on her paws with such good manners?
Oh, that is a good question. Or at least it would be at any ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happens, something was missing from that particular banquet. Something that forced Dame Catalina to eat with her paws. Got this missing silverware. This is all coming together.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dame Catalina was forced to eat steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen.
Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report.
We weren't aware of anything missing from the Ragu residence when we had performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Ragu approached us about this very subject last night. Okay, a little bit more favor with the jury.
What is the meaning of all this? Bloody steak? Misplaced silverware? Inspector, was your investigation so lax that you overlooked these basic facts in your initial report?
Lax, my investigation. Judge, I assure you I'm the most thorough investigative officer on the force.
Then it is amazing that the Parisian police managed to solve any crimes at all.
Eh.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Be on your way, Inspector. Perhaps do a little inspecting for your next case. ...
Fine, so be it, messieurs. Until next time.
Prosecutor, I trust your next witness is ready?
Yes, of course, Your Honor. I call upon, Monsieur Robinio, the photographer who attended the banquet on the night of the murder.
Monsieur Robinio, please approach the stand to recite the oath.
How does it go? I can't remember his voice. How does it go? I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. It's a low cliche, to be perfectly honest. Could witness please introduce himself for a court record? As if anybody in this courtroom does not immediately recognize me. I am the great Monsieur Robinio, cutting-edge photographer and visionary. I don't just take people's pictures, I capture their very essence. Je suis l'artiste Ruby. Oh, come on! You may have seen my works in hip magazines, La Broche or Say Chou. I can send you tweets if you like.
Send tweets. This took a dark turn. What on earth is a tweet? bird-to-bird communication. Come on, Falcon. It's the 19th century. Get with the times already.
Yes, your works are very impressive. But let's get down to business. Could you tell us your activities on the night of the... Very well. I was hired by Baron Roquel to capture the evening's events. I arrived at 7 in the evening. I pointed my camera and captured the beauty of the banquet in one fantastic photograph. Then I billed Baron Roquel and left.
Like a true artist.
And with regards to the photograph itself, who did you photograph? I thought you might ask. I brought a copy so you could all see for yourselves. Oh, very good. Let's take a closer look. My word, this is an exquisite picture, isn't it? So let's have here.
Does this look the same as...
No.
What's...
The cat was in the middle.
Yeah, wasn't Dame Catalina
the
there?
defendant was in the middle.
Yeah.
In the middle, we see Baron Roquel, the lion. On the left, we see Senior Pertua de Miao, the father of the defendant, Madame Catalina. And finally, we see the housemaid, Colleen Duho, who I suspect may have snuck into the picture and invited. As you can see, two people are clearly absent from the photograph. The first is the victim, Monsieur Graoui. The second is the defendant, Dame Catalina de Miao. Quite suspicious, wouldn't you agree?
Just a moment, Monsieur Remington. This proves nothing. The defendant and a victim were not photographed with the others. That doesn't mean that they were in a garden together at that point.
Hold your horses, Falcon. I'm not done yet.
The prosecution may continue.
Behind the photograph subjects, we see a wall clock with the time set at 7:30.
Ah, I'm ready. I'm ready to to counter that.
Now, why is that time significant? Well, as Inspector Volerty told us earlier, that was the exact time the murder took place. Do you see, Falcon? Every suspect has an alibi at the time of the murder, save for Dame Catalina herself.
Falcon, something is fishy. In a jail cell, Dame Catalina told us that she was present when the photograph took place, but I don't see her in Robinho's photograph. That's true, but I can't use Dame Catalina's testimony as evidence. That is too little weight. If I want to prove that Monsieur Robinho's photograph is not a valid piece of evidence, I will have to dish out evidence of my own. Your Honor, I would like to cross-examine the witness.
Very well, the defense may proceed.
It's a waste of time if you ask me. Photographs are rock-solid evidence.
Okay, you ready? Select a statement to question. I arrived at 7 p.m. I set up my camera and captured the beauty of the evening's event in one magnificent photograph. Then I billed Baron Ragoon left.
Yeah, I agree. The 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Because
the clock hands.
He's gonna You're gonna ask him how did he know it was 7 p.m.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it couldn't be the clock without hands.
Monsieur Robinho, you say that you arrived at 7 o'clock.
Give or take a couple of minutes, yes.
How do you know that you arrived at 7?
Well, the clock in my house read 6:45 when I left, and the walk to Chateau Crenier was around 15 minutes.
Oh, no.
I don't claim to be a flawless timekeeper, but I am a professional. I always stick to an appointment.
Do you have another question?
Do you have another question about Robinho's time? Oh, sorry.
Do we have another question? I think we should say yes, maybe?
Yeah. Yes, because we need to count in the fact that the clock
How long did it take to set up? How long did it take to set up your camera?
It took perhaps 25 minutes to find a shooting location, put together the camera, and ready the film.
So you arrived at 7, and a photograph took place at 7:30, and you spent 25 minutes setting up. That leaves 5 minutes unaccounted for.
Falcon, surely you are suggesting that Monsieur Robinho did something on the far small window of time.
I am. Oh, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. You want him to help you. So
Should we say we are suggesting, or that he wasn't doing something nefarious?
we have no reason to believe he was doing something nefarious.
Yeah, so I would say maybe he wasn't, but we have to get Tim to talk about the clock somehow.
Right.
Right.
And so we need him to be cooperative. So
Not at all. I'm just trying to piece together the evening's events.
I spent a little time talking with Baron Buquel when I arrived. That's probably where the rest of the time went.
Do you have another question about Lavinia's time of arrival?
Yeah.
How do you know? Well, we already asked this. Oh no. Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward this. Okay.
All right.
So
I guess we're out.
Maybe the photograph.
Oh, one magnificent photograph. Whereas we know there are actually two.
Okay. Let's take a closer look at this photograph. I think I should say I see a mistake in the photograph.
Yeah.
Just to clarify, Monsieur Robinho, photographs are a direct reflection of reality, are they not?
That is correct. The photographic process leaves no room for bias or inaccuracies.
That is most curious, because I see a mistake.
Oh, a mistake? Impossible. I just told you, Monsieur, the camera is perfect. Unbiased device. The photographs it produces are flawless.
Falcon, I'm not seeing mistakes. Perhaps you could be more specific.
Certainly. Okay, click on the area of the photograph that you believe contains a mistake. The clock in his photograph. There's something not right about it.
Well, isn't that convenient? The defense sees something wrong with a key piece of evidence that implicates a client.
Don't give me that cocky tone, Monsieur Remington. I have evidence that there's something wrong with the clock in that picture. Okay, let's say missing clock hands. The photograph clearly shows the clock's hands pointing at 7 and 6.
That much is self-evident.
Which is most curious because the clock in the lounge of Chateau Crinier has no hands.
It has no hands.
The clock is merely a decorative piece, a talking item. Feel free to ask Baron Ragout or his housemaid if you have doubts. Monsieur Robinho, how do you explain this discrepancy?
I don't know. There must be some sort of mistake. My camera is flawless. Mwah!
There is no mistake, monsieur. Your photograph depicts something that does not exist in the real world.
Maybe there was an error in the printing process?
I think my dog is also very upset at how the case is going. An error precisely where the clock's hands should be? Please, monsieur, don't patronize us. Allow me to offer a more plausible explanation. You, Monsieur Robinho, edited this photograph.
Edited?
I'm no expert, but I suspect that you used paint or ink to carefully put hands upon the clock. It would have been a simple task considering that the clock face was bare. One could even speculate that you specifically chose to include a handless clock in a photograph just to simplify the editing process.
Falcon, your reasoning is absurd. Why would the witness do such a thing?
Is it not obvious? By showing the photograph to have taken place at precisely 7:30, it clears all the photograph subjects of suspicion. In other words, Monsieur Robinho created a perfect alibi. ... Of course, this raises further questions. Who is the witness protecting? And why? Was Monsieur Robinho coerced? Bribed? Threatened? Enough silence. Let's hear some answers, Monsieur Robinho.
Fine. You got me. I'm guilty. I did it all.
Well, that was easy. Oh, no.
You did it? You're confessing to the murder of Monsieur Granby?
What? No. I have no idea who killed the frog. I'm just admitting that I'm guilty of producing fraudulent photographs. I was ordered to make changes to the printed photographs. And yes, that included adding hands to the clock.
You were ordered by whom?
I dare not say.
Monsieur Robinho, I strongly advise you to answer the defense's question. You have pledged to speak without fear, after all.
With respect, Judge, I fear his claws more than I fear the punishment of the justice system. I shall name no names.
That's a clue. His claws.
Subtle.
His claws. Did you hear that, Falcon?
That is most unfortunate. Monsieur Multidisciplinary, we cannot and shall not torture names out of you. We don't live under the ancient regime, after all. But since you have admitted to falsifying evidence, then we cannot keep you on the stand as a witness. Take your leave. You shall be charged with perjury in due course.
I can't protest. That is the least I deserve for my failure as an artist. Good day, messieurs. I disappear. Intriguing, pretty convincing. So, the clock's hands were painted on, so what? It doesn't matter. The photograph still depicts Dame Catalina as absent close to the time of the murder. That's significant.
Don't be dense, Monsieur Rabington. If the photograph is not completely genuine, then it cannot be considered reliable evidence.
Why not? It's still a portrayal of the night's events.
Because if we accept that one part of the picture is edited, then we must accept the possibility that other parts were too. It is possible that Dame Catalina was painted out. Even worse, it is possible that another person was painted in. We know that the witness is trying to cover for someone, so all possibilities must be accounted for.
So what are you saying, Falcon, that the housemaid paid off the photographer? Or was it Senior Couture, Dimio, perhaps?
I don't think so. The housemaid lacks a means or motive, and it wouldn't make sense for Senior Petois to implicate his own daughter.
Well, surely you're not suggesting that the honest and beloved, deliberately tried to frame Madame Catalina? Because that would be the most outlandish theory yet. The Baron is a pillar of our community. He would never do such a thing.
Sir Rabington, I'm not here to throw accusations. That's a job of you, the prosecutor. However... this is him.
Is that the prosecutor? Perhaps?
No, it's the Baron.
Maybe I should offer my opinion. Baron, it is not time for your witness testimony yet. So you would think, prosecutor, yet I see my good reputation getting tarnished by your incompetence. Incompetence? Indeed. Let us proceed with witness questioning. Is that fine with you, Judge?
Yes, I suppose that's fine.
Very good. And I trust that the defense has no objection.
No objections here.
Fantastic. Oh, but before I forget, I pledge to speak without fear and prejudice, etc., etc. Now, prosecutor, ask me what I witnessed over the course of the evening. Oh, okay, Baron Roku. On the night of the initial dinner went magnificently.
he's just going. He's like, I know I'm going to say. I don't have to ask the question.
When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Catalina followed behind him moments later. Senior Peter, Monsieur Robinho, and myself were engaged in conversation. After the photographer had left, my housemaid left to go find Monsieur Grenouille and Dame Catalina. That would be when I heard a cry for help. Thank you, Baron. I think we all know the story from here. There.
I would like to cross-examine the witness.
Do you doubt my integrity, garçon?
I'm just here to cover the truth, Baron.
Very well then. Hit me with your best shot. Let us establish with absolute certainty that I, Baron, am an honest man.
The defense may proceed with cross-examination.
Okay, I think we're nearly at the end. I feel like he must be the last witness. I don't know who else. The dinner went magnificently. When the photographer arrived, Monsieur Grenouille left to visit the garden. Dame Cataline followed behind just a few moments later. My housemaid discovered the pair just after the photographer left and called for help. Okay, let's look at our evidence. We have a red herring, which doesn't help. I think this is the only clue we have left. The cigar.
Yeah, it was found in the fountain, right?
Yeah, so maybe we should say garden?
Yeah, okay.
Baron, we saw the murder scene in your garden for ourselves. When was the last time you visited it? When was the last time you ventured into your own garden?
As it happens, I have quite serious allergies. I haven't been in my own garden for years.
Years, you say?
Indeed. That's not right.
Baron, I do not wish to call you a liar, but that claim does not hold up to scrutiny.
Oh? And what is that?
Because we have hard evidence that you have visited the garden recently.
Balderdash, my word is gold. Show the court the so-called hard evidence that I've been in my garden.
This was found in your garden. To be specific, it was found inside the fountain basin, right beside where the murder occurred.
Cigar butt?
Cigar butt? that could belong to anybody. And
Prosecutor, please shut your mouth. I can speak for myself.
oh, okay, sorry, Baron.
That is indeed the remnants of one of my cigars. But I must apologize, Monsieur Falcon, for I misunderstood your initial question. You see, prior to the banquet, I hadn't visited my own garden in years. When naturally, after hearing the housemaid's cry for help on the evening of the murder, I rushed outside. I was shocked and disgusted by what I saw. That must have been when I dropped my half-smoked cigar in the fountain.
You see, Falcon, that's a perfectly reasonable explanation.
I would find that believable if the cigar were casually discarded, but as it happened, the cigar butt was found in a fountain's upper basin, a location that could only be accessed with great inconvenience and a little peddling. The cigar butt was not dropped, it was deliberately hidden.
There are any number of possible explanations.
Are there? Because I can only think of one. That is, that you, Baron Ragu, deliberately hid your cigar butt to disguise your own illicit activities.
Did I know? And what illicit activities would those be?
You want me to spell it out? Fine. Let's put everything on the table. You, Baron, murdered Monsieur Grenouille. That is what you're trying to keep hidden.
Directly accusing me of murder? How shamelessly brazen.
That is a ludicrous accusation, Falcon. Your allegations are baseless. You have no evidence, no means, motive, or opportunity.
No evidence? Think harder, Monsieur Rabbington. Every piece of evidence points to the Baron as a prime suspect. You want the means? The Baron certainly had the means. His lion's claws are as sharp as a surgeon's blade. Gutting a frog belly would be trivial to him. Even Monsieur Robinho confessed just moments ago that he feared his claws.
Ridiculous! I would never threaten a man with violence.
You want a motive? The Baron had at least 10,000 francs worth of motive. By removing a business partner, the Baron's share of his railway company increased from 1/3 to 1/2.
That is preposterous!
And finally, the Baron had an opportunity. No, he crafted the perfect opportunity. He arranged a small banquet with a very select number of guests. He was aware of the missing silverware, and yet he served steak, a food item that necessitates good cutlery. Why? To bloody the hands of his guests, of course. Then he hired an easily influenced photographer and staged a very specific picture in order to build a perfect alibi for himself. Photographing the guests in front of a handless clock to make for easy editing is quite an ingenious plan, it must be said.
Prosecutor, are you going to just let the slanderous yarn go uncontested? Say something! Object!
I,
Oh, you're pitifully useless.
After executing the murder, the Baron found himself still holding a single piece of incriminatory evidence, his finished cigar. He knew that leaving it at the crime scene would raise suspicion, but he didn't have time to properly dispose of it, so, out of desperation, he threw it into his fountain, out of the sight of his guests and any snooping police. I imagine the Baron was hoping to implicate Seigneur Patois de Miao, since that would ensure total control over his railway company. Alas, Dame Catalina was the first to happen upon a crime scene, so the Baron improvised.
That is outrage! Judge, I demand you disbar this ranting lunatic!
No, there is only one outrage here. That is, that a man like yourself is able to abuse his wealth and status to frame an innocent girl for murder. You are a bourgeois of the worst kind.
How dare you, Garçon! The utter nerve of a lying scumbag, of a lawyer to accuse a philanthropist like myself of something so heinous! I'm nothing like the fat cat bourgeois. I'm a respectable, hard-working capitalist.
No, you're a ruthless man who would slaughter a dear friend just to reap a few francs.
You incredulous whelp! I ought to got you right here and now, like a damn frog!
Where's the bum bum bum?
Could someone please restrain the Baron?
Thank you, Jeannie.
Please? Now?
I'm on it, Your Honor! Let's go, old man, to the concierge with you! Don't touch me, you filthy jackdaw! I can walk myself!
That is quite a turn of events. Does the prosecution have anything to add?
well, in a manner of speaking, well, to be honest, no.
Then I shall now confer with a member of the jury to come to a decision. I ask the animals of the court, please be patient in this time.
Falcon, that was pretty incredible. Thank you. I just hope it was enough. What do you mean? You just proved Catalina's innocence. We'll get a not guilty verdict for sure. Sparrowson, I think you've misunderstood something important about the justice system. What's that? I haven't proved anything. As lawyers, we cannot deal in proofs. It's just not possible. All we can do is organize the evidence and convincingly explain what it suggests. Would you agree with that, Jeannie?
Yeah.
I haven't proved
You
Dame
can
Catalina's
infer.
innocence. All I have done is demonstrate that there is significant possibility that she is not guilty. I'm not sure that I understand the difference.
We have reached a decision. In light of the recent revelations, it is clear that an error of judgment was made with the initial arrest. On that note, we unanimously find the defendant, Dame Catalina de Miao, to be not guilty.
Bonjour, Falcon. Auntie Sparrowson, you did it.
Yeah, I suppose we did, didn't we? We should head back to the office so we can celebrate properly. You did it, Falcon! I can't take all the credit. This was a group achievement.
I'm so proud of you both.
I'll go get 1 bottle of wine and 3 of our least dirty glasses.
You were amazing, Monsieur Falcon.
Well, it was nothing.
I very much like the way you pinned the murder on the Baron. That was an act of sheer genius.
Well, I didn't pin anything. Sparrowson and I just worked on unveiling the truth, given the facts of the case.
Monsieur Falcon, there is no need to play coy. The case is over.
Play coy?
Don't tell me you're actually being sincere.
I'm completely lost.
Oh, wow. I thought the goody-goody thing was an act, but you actually don't know. All right, I'll spell it out for you.
What does she mean? Jeannie. Oh,
I murdered Monsieur
no. No.
I saw him in the garden.
Drunk and
what was
vulnerable.
that? It was nothing personal, just business, you understand.
Business.
To increase my papa's share in the train company, of course. My papa always said that the drunk old frog was the weakest link.
Jeannie. Jeannie. I'm caught off guard. Your confession doesn't make any sense at all. I found Baron Rigu's cigar butt hid in the garden.
Oh, I put it there.
Oh, no.
I expected the police to find it, but I suppose that was putting too much faith in the brains of Paris's finest.
But Falcon proved that Monsieur Robinho's photograph was edited.
It was edited. I wasn't in the picture because I was busy paying a visit to Monsieur Granby in the garden. My papa knew I needed an alibi, so he ordered me over Baron Moncriel and to add hands to the clock.
Her papa was the one with the claws. Her sweet papa, the plump gentle cat.
But that lazy artist didn't manage to finish altering the photograph by trial day. It's a good thing that Monsieur Falcon was so imaginative because that could have gone very badly.
Oh, no. No.
What's with the silence? You should both be proud.
We have comments in chat. I feel that I celebrated a bit prematurely. My mind is blown. I'm so sad right now.
There are many lawyers in the whole of France who could have won a case like this, even for a bourgeois kitty like me.
I think you should leave.
Fine. So much for the celebrations. Here's the payment for your services straight from my papa's pockets. Well, adieu, Monsieur Falcon. Adieu, Petit Sparrowson.
Falcon, what do we do now? Falcon? Okay, Jeannie. That was the end of Act 1.
Yeah, we should save it.
Yes,
Don't you
our
think?
game has been saved. So I'll just say, no, we do not wish to continue at the moment. I imagine there are more cases solved. Let us take a 3 to 5 minute break, and then I'll be back, and I'll have just a one-on-one interview with Jeannie for about 20 minutes, and then we'll end our stream. Thank you all for hanging on with us and seeing the case from its beginning to its very shocking conclusion. Okay, so we are going to take a break. Thank you, everyone. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everyone. We are back. Welcome. Thank you so much for waiting for us over break. I'm just going to move Jeannie's video just a little bit up like this. I hope all of you got to hydrate or take a snack, and now you're back. So, Jeannie, thank you again for joining me on today's stream. I just think it's been such a pleasure getting to know you over the course of preparing for this stream and just finding out just kind of crazy how much we've had in common. Welcome in, Angry Ostrich. Yes, you can break thymus. No, we are back. You are back for the best part, which is just me and Jeannie chatting. So Jeannie, as I mentioned when I was reading her bio, I thought it was so funny that both of us went to the same college as an undergraduate. We both attended the University of Chicago, and that we also both share having parents or family in Taiwan. And that, I don't know, it's just what a great connection. So I guess I'm going to just back up a little bit. And for those who don't know you, I'm wondering if you can talk about maybe just, your journey from being a lawyer and now an artist. I feel like that's, a big part of your identity. Of course, online you go by burned out lawyer. And a lot of times you mention how, you transitioned, to being an artist. Could you talk a little bit more about, why that happened and what prompted that change?
Sure. I was originally born in Taiwan, and we immigrated to Cincinnati, Ohio, when I was 8 years old, back in 1975. And as early as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an artist. But when we immigrated here, my mother explained to me that her and my father had failed in life, and I was their only hope. And it was my duty to put myself through college and graduate school and have a prestigious job so that I could support them. And she would say that to me pretty much on a daily basis. So that when I graduated from college, I had really wanted to go back to Taiwan to kind of find myself. And so I made a deal with her. I said, I'll go to law school, let me go back to Taipei for a year. And she said, okay. So that's what happened. I had a blast in Taiwan. I became a lawyer, and I put myself through college and grad school, and I took care of my parents up until my dad's death, and my mom. I'm still taking care of my mom up until, so I was a criminal defense attorney for about 20 plus years, and about 8 years ago, I developed such severe suicidal ideation that I had to close my law firm within a matter of a week or two. I remember I drove to court one day, and as I pulled the car into my parking spot across the street from the courthouse, I realized, oh my God, I didn't remember my entire drive. I was so fixated on going into my shower and just sticking a gun in my mouth that I didn't even remember seeing the road. I was just visualizing so intently. And that's when I realized, okay, this is not normal. I need help. And then I set things in motion at that point. And my husband watched me be in bed for 6 months and said, you've always wanted to be an artist. Why don't you do your art thing, take classes and pursue your art and live off of whatever I make? And so I started taking introductory art classes at CSN. And within 2 years, I was in the MFA program at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago. And I just got my MFA this past summer. So, and what's kind of funny about it was when my mom discovered that I was going to stop being a full-time attorney and that I was going back to school, she said, oh, maybe you can go to medical school. And I just looked at her like, oh my God, lady, you go to medical school. I am so tired.
Yeah. I laugh because, my parents, especially my mother, had the same sort of goal for me, and she'll still complain to this day to everyone that I turned down guaranteed medical school to go to the University of Chicago as an undergraduate. And I think it's still sort of like to this day, like a source of great like regret. And um, she wishes that I had done that in my life.
And, and I don't think that it's okay for you or me or anybody else just to laugh it off and say, oh, that's just what it's like to be Asian American, because it's not okay. It's not okay. We should be able to live our lives. I understand our parents made sacrifices for us, but in the end, it's to ensure our happiness and not for prestige amongst their friends. I don't mean to come off kind of harsh, but it's just that I'm 55 years old. I had a long time of thinking about what happened. I've done exactly what my parents asked me to do. And I'm at the point where I'm not doing this to my kids. I tell them, I'm here to help you reach your potential and to support you in whatever you want. I've made sacrifices. That doesn't mean I somehow dangle it in front of my, kids' eyes and make them feel like they're beholden to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what being a parent is about. And so I understand that my mom is of a different culture and different generation, but I don't like it when people go, oh, that's just your culture. It's like, oh, okay, well, thank you for telling me. Did you know this from seeing an ad for the Joy Luck Club on TV or something? Like, oh, okay. I've actually had that happen before.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm really glad I'm speaking to you about these issues because just, as it happens, May, for whatever month is, for whatever reason, is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Awareness Month. And so it's also Mental Health Awareness Month, which just sort of the confluence of those two things. I know that mental health is something that my family didn't talk a lot when we were growing up and still continues to this day. It's still like a topic of something that is ignored, even though I think my siblings and I feel very deeply that this is something that's important and affects us all. So I'm glad that, in this discussion, we can be really, a little bit more real about what it means to be Asian American and also have, these conversations. So, yeah.
I'm very open about it because I want to be part of the voices to destigmatize, right? Depression and suicidal ideation, especially with COVID, during what happened during the quarantine. But even before that, it needs to be talked about.
Yeah.
Depression and mental health is just as valid and real as physical health with the rest of your body. And the more you talk about it, the more you make it okay because we are talking about it.
Yeah. I'm wondering, do you find in your art, and this is something that I think I know the answer to just because I know your work a little bit better, but for people in the audience, do you feel like sort of these like experiences I've just sort of built up over the years, like how do they find a way into your art today? Like what do you try to do through your art to sort of give a voice to these feelings or like, trying to destigmatize these notions that people might have about the Asian American experience?
I was because I was a criminal defense attorney for 20 plus years, I was used to speaking for other people who couldn't speak for themselves. And so I was seeking my artistic concepts outside of my direct experience, my personal experience. And then it occurred to me, and I follow Jerry Saltz on Twitter, and he says what a lot of people say, which is do what you know. Make your art about what you know. And so, for decades, I just carried so much shame just being Asian American. And it was through reading Kathy Hong Park and now Julia Lee that I realized that it's my there's nothing to be ashamed about. It is this gaslighting racism that I've gone through myself. And I can only speak for my own experience. I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio, where not a day went by without somebody calling me a chink or gook or chopstick, slant eye. I'm ugly, I'm stupid because I didn't know English. And as a kid, I would go to commercial establishments and be told I need to stand in the back of the line, even after I waited in line for the white people to be served first. I realized that my experience is mine. I'm not speaking for other people. But the problem is what happens when people experience discrimination of any degree. Many of us feel ashamed, even though we shouldn't be the one to feel ashamed. It should be the perpetrator of the person that's uttering the racial epithet, the perpetrators. And so I decided that's what I'm going to make my about. And so my art is my way of dealing with my affinity to ephemera. That's why I started out as a collage artist, because I have a reverence in the ephemeral, because that's how Asian Americans have been treated in the United States historically. We're welcome when we're useful. When our utilitarian purpose ceases, then immigration laws arrived. Then pillaging and murder and burning of towns occurred, and we're discarded just like ephemera. And for me, making collages, incorporating ephemera in my mixed media work is a way to express how everything and everyone should have a second chance and have value unto themselves. And it shouldn't be defined by the utilitarian purpose of an object or a person. And so conceptually, the material I respond tends to be in the ephemera. But what I love about collaging also is you cut out magazines, you save the colors, we save the image, and you transpose it and place it in a new context. So you change the nature of the ephemera, but the DNA, the source of the ephemera, is still is retained in its new context. And I really love how that's a complication, much like diaspora, which is about displacement, right? It's about displacement and being in a new context where you don't necessarily believe, or maybe you do. And it depends on your perspective and what your surroundings look like and your perceptions. So I can't even remember your question.
No, no, thank you for that. And I was going to ask you too about, your work with collage and why, and you already answered that. So I'm glad you did. And I like the connection you made between collage and diaspora. I wanted to ask you again, everyone's, of course, experiences are so different, but since you immigrated here when you were so young, I was wondering if, to this day, when you speak with your mother, if you do so in English or you do so in a mix of, Mandarin or whatever, if there was a different dialect that she spoke, but how do you two converse?
She speaks to me in Mandarin, and I try to speak back in Mandarin. The problem is my Mandarin has become just terrible. I mean, none of my other relatives can understand my Mandarin, because what my mom does is she doesn't speak correct grammar to me. She mirrors my broken Mandarin so that I'm not retaining the Mandarin. And so when we fight and she has the advantage because we're arguing in Mandarin, I revert to English because it's just not fair. But I try not to do it only when I'm frustrated. I try to speak English not out of disrespect or out of repudiation of the culture that I come from. It's from my right to explain myself and stand up for myself. So it's a mix of Mandarin English. She will not speak to me in English. Her English is just fine. She's extremely intelligent, person, and her English is just fine, but she will not speak to me in English.
Mm-hmm. I wonder that because I actually wrote a blog post for this. The very first year I started working for Nevada Humanities, I was asked to write a blog post, I think in May. And I wrote about my father's childhood home in Taiwan. And I sort of prefaced it by saying how I've just always had this like linguistic and cultural barrier with me and my parents. And so I feel like even though we're not able to linguistically convey everything, we have to sort of understand, even if I can't say this in perfect English or Mandarin, like what are we trying to say, like beneath the surface? And I think about that a lot. Even before I got on stream today, I was telling you, because it's my birthday, I felt like, oh gosh, I should probably call my dad because it's it's at night, and he's probably wondering why hasn't Kathleen called me all day? And just speaking to him, I was reminded of how now that they've moved away and I'm older, I don't have a chance to really use Mandarin in my everyday life. And I was just realizing upon speaking to him, like, oh my gosh, like it's much worse than it used to be, and I hate it, and I would like to get better at Mandarin someday. Um, but then also my parents never taught me Hakka, any of the dialects, which is the language of that they grew up speaking, and it's the language that I always thought, whenever they switched from Mandarin and English in our household growing up to Hakka, I was like, oh, that's the language when I'm in trouble. It's like the secret language of they don't want us to know what they're saying. So for me, that's what I thought about. I also went on a tangent there, but I think there are just so many things to
No.
talk about, like language and,
Yes.
and culture and just, when you have parents who grew up in another country and immigrated here, or even if you immigrated here at a young age. I know that some people, their parents, instill like, I never really learned how to read Mandarin just like until I was 8 years old. And then we moved and then I didn't learn after that. And that's always been sort of a source of, you could say, regret or shame that I can't read. And I would love to do that. So that's like an adult goal of mine. But just this barrier of communication, I feel it very deeply.
Well, there's a conflict about that, right? Because as Asian American, there's always a consideration. Well, you shouldn't expect me to speak a language that is foreign to English because Asian Americans are real Americans and we shouldn't be expected to speak somehow a mother tongue. But I understand that you're talking about being able to communicate with your parents and feel closer to them because you love your parents. And when you were explaining, your interaction with your parents, the the phrase knowledge is power. It popped up in my head. Language is power. And I understand that the philosophy is, well, we don't want to mess up her, I don't know, English speaking abilities. And it's frustrating because they take their knowledge for granted and they figured you won't miss what you never really knew. But that's not necessarily true. And so it's kind of just something that you kind of have to grapple and become at peace with. I just I hope this is comforting to you, but during the last week, my dad was alive. By then, the cancer had traveled to his brain, and he was hallucinating half the time. And so I was sitting in the room with him, and he would just talk sporadically to like the corner of the ceiling, you know, and so I was sitting in the same room with him, trying to figure out which doctor to take him, what I should be doing, and I had no idea what to do. And I was in denial that he was dying. There was a moment in time where he looked over my right shoulder at the screen door and he nodded at something and said, "Yeah, she was a good girl. Everything she did was for her parents." And I thought, I hope he's talking about me. He's talking about me. I just decided he's talking about me. And it just gave me such a sense of peace that no matter what I did, no matter what they accused me of, in the end, they knew that I loved them and that everything I did was for them. And so, Kathleen, I'm going to say that to you is that, no matter what they said to you, they know you love them. And that in the end, you just want them to be proud of you. But they should be proud of you because you stood up for yourself and you're doing what you want. That's called self-respect.
I'm definitely the black sheep of my family.
It's-
Absolutely.
well, you're the shiny black sheep, man, because what is the point of making your children not live their own lives and have no self-respect? I'm just not seeing that. And again, you can say, oh, that's an American attitude, that's an Asian attitude. Well, I don't want my Asian American friends to be miserable, because that's remember how you were telling me that you feel conflicted about the term resilience? And I agreed with you. I don't want to be resilient. Resilient people are punished by getting more work or having their shitty condition to stay shitty because they're resilient. Like, what a terrible idea. And so that's kind of where I'm at. And so I do want my kids to have resilience, but that comes with just living life, because before you reach that sense of peace and fulfillment, there's so many adversities, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just living real life, that resilience would serve you. So it's a conflicting word.
I want to tell people in chat, you are more than welcome. I feel like we've been having such like a serious conversation, like no one wants to like interrupt or say anything. But if you feel like you've had, I don't know, even similar experiences to me or Jeannie, or if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to do so. This conversation is for everyone, and not just the two of us. So
are there still people there?
There are. There are. We're just having such a great conversation that the chat has gone quiet. Yeah. So see, we have a person, an ostrich even. We have an angry ostrich telling us, just because you can handle something once or for a while doesn't mean you should have to deal with it forever. Thank you.
Well, yeah. Who's been in a work situation where you're smart, you're fast, you get your job done quickly, and then you're rewarded by getting more work than people who are slower. It's like, oh, well, thank you very much.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh, we're just listening. We don't want to interrupt. No. We want you to interrupt and tell us what you're thinking. So thank you.
Well, I mean, you guys can tell me how great I look for being 55 years old. You can do that.
Have you seen that great meme of Asian women aging? I always laugh when I see this. I'll have to send it to you because it looks exactly like my family. It looks like my grandmother, and I laugh every time I see it. I'm like, oh, it's the natural progression.
Yes, it's true. It's very funny.
I'll have to share that later. I can't do that right now, but thank you, the huge. Thank you very much. That was very kind.
Doggy with heart.
So I guess what I want to say, I wanted to talk about some happier things as well. I feel like not everything can be joyful and not everything can be sorrowful, but I feel like I wanted to ask you some fun questions, Jeannie, to maybe like end our time on stream today. And I feel like I could talk to you for many, many more hours or even days about any of this. So I would love to have you on again in the future. We could continue the second case and see what happens to our poor Falcon investigator. But I wanted to
more voices.
Yeah, more voices. We'll have to figure some of this out. Jeannie, I wanted to ask you a question that I ask everyone on our program, especially when I appear for the first time, and that is, what do the humanities mean to you?
Oh my God, it means everything. I mean, art has kept me alive. I mean, you have no idea how shameful it is to admit that you want to kill yourself. You're a mom, what kind of mother are you if you want to leave your kids? I mean, it's horrible to admit that. The humanities mean a sustenance. It means a way to survive. I mean, I'm getting emotional about it, but some of the most joyful moments of my life was when I'm, reading poetry or found a great book, or I'm at a museum watching, a symphony. You can't, well, I guess you could quantify it by the price of the tickets, but you know, for me, it's a mean of survival. It's so funny. I was really hoping my son would major in theater. He's at, and he looked at me when I suggested that. I'm going into electrical engineering because I want to be able to earn money. and he's right. The kid is right. But I really feel that if you are really good at something, you're going to find a way to make a living at it. Um, that's not necessarily true, like a truck stop hooker, but from the humanities, I would really encourage all my kids to, and actually, my daughter, my middle child, who's looking, she's a junior right now. She's really into the video production and making, and I'm just going to brag right now. She really could. She's like in the highly gifted program. She's in Calc BC. She's in all eight. She really could do anything she wants, but she wants to make films. I think that's great. She's going to be amazing. And we're going to go visit NYU. We visited UCLA. I mean, that's the whole point, is to support your kid and make them believe that they have a goal. They're supported and they're loved and they're believed in. Yeah.
Thank you, Jeannie. I was just reading some comments in chat. No worry, Ostrich. Thank you for sharing that, by the way. I think that part of Mental Health Awareness Month is sharing whenever people feel, that they're in a comfortable space to do so. You don't have to feel obligated, but sharing sort of what you go through so people know they're not alone in feeling this way. And I always felt like in my family, like if I remember telling my parents that I was feeling, very depressed and anxious and other things. And I said, just to paraphrase them, like, suck it up. My mom always says, you have your arms and your legs and all of your fingers and toes. What do you have to be sad about? Just a very practical, like, there are people who have it worse than you, which is always made me feel worse for feeling that way. And it took a very long time before I felt like I could seek professional help, and I'm so glad that I did. But it was always, just suck it up and don't tell other people how you're feeling and don't be a burden. So I wouldn't wish that on anyone, but I do feel like what I appreciate in like the recent years, I feel like this wasn't the case when I was in college, but once I was in graduate school, I started seeing more and more language about, feeling supported and going to therapy, and how people in college and around you can help out. And I really appreciate that. So yeah.
My best therapist I've ever had was still back at UC. His name is Thayer Lindner, and he still to this day was the best therapist I ever had. He had, I think, a sociology PhD at U of C, and he was a therapist there. And that was my standard, right? My first therapist. I thought all therapists were that great. Boy, was I wrong. Oh my God. That's another thing too. It's daunting. You have mental health issues that need to be addressed. Seek professional help. Well, in Nevada, there are two therapists here, and they both suck. So, oh my gosh, if there's therapists in the chat right now, I'm really sorry. But I mean, so just seeking help even isn't automatically a cure, right? You have to find a good therapist.
Yeah.
But it's worth it. It's worth it.
Yeah. I guess I will say that not the first, but I think the second person when I was at Indiana University, the counselor who I saw was not great and made me not want to continue. And I'm really glad that I found someone else, because I felt like she wasn't listening. She would like look at the clock behind me. So then I thought, oh gosh, like she just wants the session to be over.
God.
And like, I just felt like, well, why am I here? And so so I'm glad, that I found someone else. So yeah, therapy, I think,
was
can be.
she really ugly? I like to think she was really ugly. Just a troll of a human being. Yeah.
I don't remember anymore, but we could imagine. Maybe she looked like. Well, thank you everyone in chat, just for sort of hanging out with me and Jeannie and talking about these topics, which again I think are difficult but are really important to have a conversation about. Jeannie, I think I want to ask you a couple more fun. I'm going to call them fun questions, but they're maybe more like potpourri questions, like Jeopardy style potpourri. And one of them is I wanted to ask you, do you have, or no, I'll ask this question. Are there any future artistic or crafty skills you'd like to learn? Like I'm thinking like glass blowing or pottery. Like now that you've sort of transitioned, or like, okay, I'm an artist and I'm owning this, part of myself that I've always wanted to do this. Like what else do you want to explore? I feel like you have so many more decades ahead of you. I'm crossing my fingers that it's decades.
It's true. Us Asian American females are durable. So I'm planning to live until 90, which gives me about 40 years. I've been wanting to hone my video production, my performance. I want to do installations. I've been asked to submit a proposal to the Frog Biennial Biennale, and I'm hoping that I could do an installation. That would be so exciting. I already have this crazy idea. My younger kids have like a million stuffed animals, and I wanted to do something crazy with all the stuffed animals. And we have a ton of syringes in the house because my middle child's a type of diabetic. Just that juxtaposition between childhood and adulthood, but juxtaposed in a disturbing and enlightening way. That thought excites me. So yeah, photography, video production, and performance. I was able to do a performance in Chicago that in front of a bunch of really intimidating people at SAIC, and it was well received to my surprise, and it really encouraged me to kind of pursue that.
Oh, I'm glad. For anyone, I think people in chat have already seen this by now, but Jeannie does have a website, so you can see some of her work there, as well as on her Instagram if you would like. Because I feel like, we're talking about your art and the kind of work you do, and I feel like it's really more powerful and meaningful if people can also see this for themselves. So please, by all means, go check out her website if you don't mind me promoting your work, Jeannie. Or unless there's like a secret website I don't know about.
Oh, I just hate it when you're all supportive and nurturing. It's horrible.
I also have difficulty when people act similar, but I can do it to you, so I'm okay with that. I guess I'm trying to think of some other questions because I have this whole list, and again, I could just talk to you forever, which is great. I think it's great when you find someone like that. So thank you for letting me sort of just talk your ear off and have fun with you tonight while also having these serious, chats. But Jeannie, do you have a favorite place or top 3 places in Nevada? And before that, I want to back up, and I would love for you to tell everyone about how you never even intended to stay in Nevada in the first place before you answer that question. If you don't mind.
I had this plan, 5-year plan. I was going to work at the Clark County Public Defender's Office for 5 years and then apply to the San Francisco Public Defender's Office. That was my dream, to be a public defender in San Francisco. I wanted to live in San Francisco. I was even dating a dot-commer. That really dates me, right? I dated a dot-commer. He had a penthouse in Palo Alto. Oh my God, it was so set. And then I met my stupid husband in the courthouse. I'm a public defender. He was a new prosecutor. I saw him across the hallway, and he's completely guileless. He just saw me and went, oh, and I looked at him like, what the f are you looking at? Because I didn't have time to shower. I was in a terrible mood. I had my hair tied back. And I was so full of myself, right? Because we would be negotiating cases, and I would say, I can tell you're highly attracted. I just want to know that I have an extremely rich boyfriend in Palo Alto. Can you believe I actually said that? I said that for him to say, fuck you, don't be so into yourself, right? So instead of saying that, he said, yeah, I really do find you
attractive and intelligent. And so if your romantic situation changes, I hope you'll let me know. And I was like, oh God, that's such a kind thing to say. That's and the more I tested him, the more he was just this decent human being, everything that my boyfriend at the time wasn't. And so I broke up with my .comer boyfriend and hooked up with my husband at the time, who was renting a room from his law school roommate. So I went from, oh my God, he was renting a room. And so within a year of meeting him, we were engaged. He knocked me up and we were engaged and living together. And now we have 3 kids.
And you've been in Las Vegas for
of going to San Francisco was just decimated. But what can I say? He's hot. He still is hot. He's also an amazing prosecutor, by the way.
Thank you, Jeannie, for sharing that. I like I really like that story. So I sort of wanted to ask you that, because I was like, what got you to stay in Nevada, and then to then ask you, what are some of your favorite places here, if you don't mind sharing.
I was even interviewing with the SFPD right around the time I met him too. Oh my God, he just ruined it. Okay, my 3 favorite places in Nevada. When I first moved to Vegas, I just hiked all the time at Red Rock. It was my place to go for solitude, but I also met this amazing group of friends at the Clark County PD's office eventually, and we would hike in Red Rock every weekend. So that's my one favorite place. My second favorite place it would actually be a road. And it's actually a road that nobody likes. And it's the road that goes between Vegas and Reno that people avoid at all costs. And the first time I traveled that road, I just thought, this is the most horrible road I have ever been on. But I'm convinced that when you experience a great deal of emptiness, spatial emptiness for hours at a time, it's kind of a mirror as to what's inside of you. And when you see out into all that spaciousness and you feel joy, then that's what's inside of you. But if you find the emptiness to be disturbing, then I don't know, there's something going on in you that you need to think about a little bit more. It's kind of, to me, it's kind of like a litmus. But there's something precious about beauty, bleak beauty, that you have to search for before you find it. It makes it more precious versus in the tropics, deciduous, fauna. Sure, that's pretty too. There's something that is, I don't know, almost noble about the harshness of the desert that gives your soul more space to expand. And my third favorite place, I wouldn't say it's a favorite in the sense of I want to spend time there, but recently I've been obsessed with Tonopah because I discovered that there are about 10 Chinese American from the 1800s buried under mining waste, which is directly adjacent to the historical Tonopah Cemetery, which is adjacent to the Clown Motel. I don't know if people know about the Clown Motel. It really is.
Yes, look up the Clown Motel in Tonopah if you can. We have a visiting author who wants to stay there. She requested specifically, please book me a room at the Clown Motel in Tonopah. I would love to see it while I'm in Nevada. So I just wanted to say that real quick.
Hey, let's get a group of people, spend a night at Clown Motel. Why not? The author, the guy that wrote The Daughters of Moy Fong, James Ford. You know that book, The Daughters of, the first Chinese woman ever to come to the States. Do you know the book I'm talking about? Shoot. Okay. He traced his great-great-grandfather to Tonopah, and they told him that he's one of the bodies buried under mining
Oh my
waste.
gosh.
And I visited the place, and I'm actually going to have an art exhibit at the Window Gallery about it at the Marjorie Barrick Museum at UNLV. I just had their window gallery outside of their, I shouldn't say just, I'm not going to put myself down. It is outside of the Marjorie Barrick Gallery. It's a window play. And it just made me feel so bad knowing that at one point there were Chinese Americans living in every town in Nevada during the formation of the state and even after statehood, contributing to our state of Nevada. And in the late 1800s, most of them were chased out of Nevada, murdered, and had their towns burned, or their sections burned down. And the way Tonopah expressed the anti-Chinese sentiment was to bury their bodies under mining waste.
Mm.
They're actually white people buried outside of the cemetery. And I specifically asked the very nice lady who showed me the whole layout. I mean, she could have denied everything, but she was very honest. I said, are there Caucasians also buried under mining waste? And she said, no, just the Chinese American bodies. So it's like, oh, okay. Well, thank you for the specification. And but it's just such an illustration of, Asian American history and how most people don't know.
I didn't know. Thank you for sharing that. Well, I didn't know about the people buried in Tonopah. I did know that.
Right?
I remember going to Ely so recently, learning about the Japanese and Chinese workers who were there and how, when like a mine got like buried, like they just left the workers there when they were still alive instead of digging them out and then, left their bodies there.
See, I didn't know that.
And
I
then
didn't know that.
in Tuscarora, which is a place that very few people, I think, get to go to in Nevada or know about, but really should, because it's a really special place. And also there's a very, there's a well-known pottery school there, but you should also go there for other reasons. About 7 to 11 people, maybe a little bit more. I think live there full time. It's a very small place, but like this is a place where thousands of people used to live, and especially Chinese workers. They used to have a very like bustling Chinatown, and they have, like old maps of where all these buildings used to be. And today you wouldn't know because it's all covered with grass now. Like you just look and there's no hint of the buildings and it's all underneath the earth. But when I went there for that first time, I just thought, whose like footsteps am I walking in? It was like such an eerie feeling like this is where thousands of people used to be and what has happened to them now. So I think about that a lot, and I would like to go back someday and also read more about the history of immigrants to Nevada, and like you said, how they really helped to shape our state, but people don't realize all their contributions.
What are the sources of your knowledge about Asian Americans in Nevada?
I would say mostly like word of mouth at this point. Like I go to a place and then either like, my boss or someone there who lives in that place tells me, this is where, and then there's also a museum and like in the hall, in the hall in the Society Hall in Tuscarora, where there's like a little exhibit where you can learn more about the people who were there before. And I think there might also be more information at the museum in Elko. So I've seen like different exhibits, like the Railroad Museum in Ely has some information on the Japanese railroad workers in Ely, as well as the museum there, which is a really like one of the best small town museums I've ever been to is in Ely, and they also had some information on all the people who were buried there. So.
I really need to check it out. That's kind of frustrating to find out. I actually in Carson City and Elko because I still practice a little bit of law, and so I have clients in those prisons. Which, by the way, some of the prisons in rural Nevada are just full of structures. That's history. And I stayed right next to the Ely Museum, but I didn't get a chance to go check it out. Had I known, I would have discovered about the Japanese American Railroad. I would have loved to have known that. But
Yeah.
it's not too late.
It is not too late. Yeah, you should definitely go. I'm wondering if anyone in chat has any last questions or thoughts for Jeannie before we end our stream tonight. I'm sort of leaving with a sense that Jeannie, I would love to have you back on again if I have not horrified you or like scarred you for life out of ever appearing on another Twitch stream. But I would love to continue chatting with you and just, getting maybe further in detail with some of these things that we're talking about today. I felt like I had a great time playing and doing all the voice acting. You were really doing the voice acting. I just used like more or less my normal voice, but I would love to chat with you more. So,
oh yeah, this has been so fun, Kathleen. You're a wonderful listener, and you have. I just feel bad because I feel like our listeners are asleep.
No,
or they passed away from old age. I would love to come back. That would be such a treat. And I'm hoping that we could also talk to each other outside of this.
Yeah, of course.
Well.
Yeah.
No, only this.
Thank you, friends in chat.
And I think you deserve some birthday pizza right now. Your boyfriend he's probably dead from like malnutrition.
It's true. I think he's been waiting for like an hour. So it's true. Well, thank you everyone. Just for your birthday wishes. B, staying with me and Jeannie tonight. I think some parts of this or all of it will be made as a recording later on YouTube, and of course, archived on Twitch for about a week before they get rid of it. But more people will listen, I hope, and I hope that next time we'll also get even everyone in chat to come back, but more people to share their stories. I'm gonna, before I say goodbye, I'm gonna do my usual self promo and say, if you would like to hang out with me some more this week on Saturday, May 20th at 3 p.m. Pacific, we are going to have something that we haven't done before. And so this is kind of a new thing. I'm still kind of working out the kinks, but we are going to host a cooking demonstration here on Twitch. I'm thinking that I might have to stream a Zoom meeting, and I can make that work. But I think that's how I'm going to be, maybe in my kitchen, maybe in my office. We'll see how the internet connection works. But we're going to be learning how to make chapati, which is a type of Nepalese street food, a very popular one. And it's with one of my favorite people in all the world. He is a PhD candidate at Indiana University, Bloomington, in the Department of Folklore and Ethnomusicology. He's an ethnomusicologist. Really one of the most enthusiastic people I know, loves food studies, loves sound studies, loves just like learning about everything. So please come this Saturday at 3 p.m. Pacific if you can, to cook with us. You can find the recipe on our website, even if you just like to make it on your own outside or follow along. But that's where we're going to be streaming. We're going to have a special afternoon stream this Saturday, May 20th. Finally, we're always updating our programs. I'm super excited about the next few months. I'm already chatting with some folklorists and other Humanities Council staff from across the U.S. about appearing on our show, because I would love to highlight the work that they're doing as well. So just stay in touch. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Jeannie, thank you for hanging on with me for hours and hours. Let's end our stream, and I'm very thankful for, again, you being open about many of your life experiences and sort of sharing what you've been through with us, and in the hopes that we can be better parents if we are ever parents, or just good people in this world. I think we just need to be good people right now. So that's my birthday wish. I want all of us to be good people. If you can, do something nice for yourself, if not another person, this week. Well. On that note, Jeannie, is there anything else you'd like to say before I say goodbye?
No, thank you for everything, Kathleen.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Join us for prehistory.